I need 10 more minutes with you.
What's up, everyone? Today I'll be talking about what my high school schedule looked like. And sorry for having my iPad with me because there's a lot of information that I will not be remembering, so I need some little notes. Let's start with something weird. In Quebec, our high school is from grade 7 to 11. Don't ask me why, I don't know. We have something called CEGEP, which is also known as college, but that's not for me to decide. So yeah, we only have 5 years of high school. So let's get started. In grade 7, I didn't really play soccer, so let's skip that grade. In grade 8, I joined my first team in October, and it was Brossard. If you don't know where Brossard is, this is Montreal, this is the famous Laval, and this is Brossard, so we call it the South Shore. I was with them from November of 2014 to the beginning of my grade 11, which was October of 2017. And then after that, in November of 2017, I joined Saint Laurent. So let's talk about my Brossard schedule. I'm not gonna go like super in-depth with grade 8, 9, and 10, but I will like somewhat go in-depth, if that makes any sense. I'm just gonna like average it out a bit. So simplify it, this is what my schedule looked like. I'm gonna try to remember it. So from 8:15 is the schedule I have right now. So from 8:55 to 10:10 a.m. I had my first period, and then my second period was from 10:20 to 11:35, and then from 11:35 to 12:35 was my lunch, and then my third period started at 11:35 and it ended at 1:50 p.m. and then from 2 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. was my last period. I cannot believe I remember that. Anyway, as you guys can see, like my high school schedule was pretty like okay, like just class-wise, but it was what I did outside of those class times, and sometimes I skipped my first and fourth, but let's not talk about that. In average, I woke up around 7 a.m. or a little before 7 a.m. and I actually trained before going to class. So what I did was I woke up, and then I woke up, but my dad woke me up at the beginning, but then I started waking up on my own. So I would say like the first year that I was with Brossard, my dad woke me up, but then the second and third year, it was really on my own that I woke up and I started training in the morning. So I trained in the morning for about like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and it was mostly skip rope or like coordination drills. And then after that, well, I ate, I got ready, and then I left for school. And then I left for school around like 8:20. So from 8:20 all the way to, I would arrive home around like 3:50. I was in school, or if I did skip my first or fourth period, well, you know, I would go play. Every time I skipped class, I would usually go play soccer, but I don't want to really talk about that because I do not suggest you guys doing that. And what else? When I arrived home, I would actually, is this like TMI, like too much information? Like I just took my dump, and at 4 p.m. to like 6 p.m. I would work out, like actually like weight train. And yes, when I was 13, I started weight training. Also, I have a friend at the time, he was probably the best player I've ever seen in my life, and I looked up to him for how good he was, but it pushed me to become better because he was a player and I knew that I would never catch up to him, so I decided to be a goalie. Long story, that's for another Story Tuesdays with Jay. He was like a Montrealer just like me, like he was from Montreal, and we had another guy. We were called like the three Montrealers. Yeah, we always went to practice together. So I would weight train to 6, and then from 6 to about like 7, I would have my time to like have like a post-workout meal. And then at like 7:30 or like before 7:30, I would leave to practice. At the beginning, as in like the first 3 months that I was with Brossard, my mom would drive us, and to go there by bus, it takes 90 minutes. And then by car, it takes a little over 30. And obviously me starting soccer, new sport, new environment, new this, new that, my mom drove me to practice. And it was only like once or twice a week, so it wasn't too bad. It's when it really started getting more serious and I started having more fun that I, went to a lot of the practices alone or with my buddy, and we maybe went to Broussard maybe like 5 times a week. I'm gonna do the math for you, and the math is not on my screen, by the way. We had to do 90 minutes to go, 90 minutes of practice, and then 90 minutes to come back. That's
1 eternity later.
4 hours and 30 minutes of our time. About. So if I arrive at my practice before 9, which I usually did, and most of our practice was from 9 to like 10:30, 11-ish. Obviously I had that extra time, like I stayed that extra minutes. So let's say I averaged 2 hours per practice, I mean. So from 9 to 11, we had a practice, and then from 11 to 12:30 a.m., I would be in the bus, and then at 12:30-ish a.m., I would be back home. There were some days that the bus was not on time, or the bus was skipped, or the bus was whatever, and I would arrive home like at 1:30 a.m., but that's very rare. So yeah, if you do the math, if I woke up at like before 7 and I would sleep around like 2 a.m., I only had like 5 hours of sleep. So from grade 8 to 10, so grade 8, 9, 10, I would sleep only like 5 hours a day. And don't even ask me how I'm still alive. And I'm not gonna even lie, I didn't even feel tired. Like I genuinely did not. I feel like there's something to do with like puberty or that specific age range, because I just really did not feel tired. I was training over 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day, legit, and I was okay with 5 hours of sleep. So I have no clue how that's even possible, but that's really what it was. So I'm gonna like show you guys the high school schedule right here, or just like over me actually. That's what it looks like. Now, when I was with Broussard. Now, when I joined Saint Laurent, in October of 2017. I have another story about that, because I don't want to say it's life-changing, but I must admit it's career-changing. But that's for another time. When I joined Saint Laurent, I don't need this anymore because I remember it. When I joined Saint Laurent, my schedule became a lot more balanced, I would say, just because I started doing my research on like physical training, and it was like I had less training time, but it was more intense. So again, I would wake up around like 7 and I would do like 30 minutes to an hour of skip rope, and then I would go to school. So I'd be out of my house from 8:30 a.m. to 3:50 p.m. and then from around 4 to 5 p.m. I would actually do my weight training. So like actually train with the weights in my garage or at the gym. And then from 5 to like 7, I'm gonna even push it to 8, I would have like my leisure time and eat before practice. But I would usually eat at the beginning, and then I wouldn't eat until like way later. I would eat from like 5 to 5:30, and then from 5:30 to 8 I would have like my leisure time. And no, I did not study, and my grades show that I didn't study, to be honest. And then from 8 to like 9, it's the time when I got ready, and then I went to practice. And then from 9 to 10:30 it was practice, and it was only 90 minutes, but it was really nice and intense. And I really loved practicing with Saint Laurent, just because the intensity was there, the players were there, and it just shows that I don't want to like hate on Broussard because I love the team, but it shows like a team that finished last place in AAA, as in like the elite league, and probably the best team in the province that finishes almost first every year. The practices are not only intense, but players show up on time. Players are fighting for the spot every time. So the intensity was really high, so I really enjoyed it. And then that's when I started going to clean sheet. So clean sheet was mostly on weekends, so it wasn't that much of a big deal, but it did consume my time. But like I said, I didn't really study, so yeah, not a good thing. If I had to go back in time, I would say study. Like study in the bus, study while I'm traveling, because that's what I started doing after I graduated from my high school. But yeah, when I was in the bus for 90 minutes or in total 3 hours a day, I should have been studying, like reading a book or, you know, taking notes on whatever and that kind of stuff, because I feel like I could have been way more productive in the bus. But apart from that, that's my high school schedule. And I have to admit, it's crazy now that I think about it, because that's a lot. I don't know how I did it. Like I said, there has to be something with puberty and that age group, because I know a lot of my friends too that like they just didn't feel tired at that age, and now like after 18, after 19, like we start feeling like this tiredness stuff. Like I really don't know, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I got a lot of editing to do, so yeah.